A note before we begin. Dear listener, imagine a city where steam hisses in cathedral-tall tubes, where angelic runes glow like furnace embers on hidden walls, and where the quiet tick of a pocket watch can outshout Parliament's bells. That city is Victorian London, but not the one your history teacher described. It is the London of shadowhunters and automatons, of secrets curled tighter than mainsprings, and of three young people whose hearts turn more unpredictably than any gear: Tessa Gray, Will Herondale, and Jem Carstairs. The story you are about to hear is not a chapter-by-chapter retelling of Cassandra Clare's Clockwork Prince. Instead, it is a lantern raised over the novel's most luminous mechanisms: love that refuses binary settings, loyalty forged in the heat of confession, power structures that look eternal until someone removes a single pin. Let the whistle of steam and the shudder of gears guide you through these pages, and keep the lessons that resonate, because even in a world without automatons, we are all still negotiating the cogs and levers of our own destinies. London under steam. Institutions like machines conceal corrosion behind polished panels. Midwinter fog lies heavy upon the Thames, carrying coal dust and the distant clatter of carriage wheels. The Institute, a cathedral-turned headquarters tucked behind iron fencing, stands like a dark rook on a soot-gray chessboard. Inside, stained-glass angels keep silent watch while mechanisms whir beyond human sight: secret lifts, concealed weapons racks, the vaults storing enchanted clockwork hearts. Yet the grandest machinery is political. The Clave Shadowhunter government clicks forward one decision at a time, its gears greased by tradition and fear. Outwardly pristine, inwardly rusty, it struggles to keep pace with a world accelerating under steam and electricity. Three hearts in tension. The heart's geometry can be more complex than Euclid ever drew. At the Institute's center beats a triad of loyalty and longing. Tessa Gray, newly arrived from New York, still marvels that she can transform into anyone whose object she holds. Each shift leaves her wondering, is the true Tessa merely the sum of borrowed faces, or does a core self remain unchanged beneath the glamour? Will Herondale hides razor wit behind cruel quips, convinced that love is a trapdoor yawning beneath anyone stupid enough to care for him. He laughs at danger because he believes he deserves it. Jem Carstairs, gentle as a lullaby and lethal as a seraph blade, battles an incurable yin-fen addiction that marks each heartbeat with a question: will this be my last measure of time? Between these three flows a current more volatile than any electrical arc. Love here isn't a straight line, it is a triangular gear, one tooth catch and the entire mechanism jolts. Automatons and the question of humanity. A body without feeling is perilous. A soul that refuses empathy is worse. Beyond the Institute's walls, Mortmain's clockwork army evolves. Rubber skins stretched over brass joints, cogs small as eyelash curls, each automaton pushes the question: what truly separates flesh from forged metal? The answer might be emotion, but even that is suspect. An automaton cannot feel, yet men often choose not to. In a pivotal ambush inside the silent city's tomb-quiet corridors, gears clash against ruined blades. Sparks land on marble like ragged stars. For Tessa, it is a revelation. The clockwork monsters mirror human ambitions. They exist because someone decided an unfeeling army was preferable to the messy unpredictability of living soldiers. Secrets, curses, and shattered masks. Truth withheld to protect others can still wound them when it arrives unsheathed. Will's cruelty is not aimless, it is armor. Years earlier, a demon cursed at him: all who love you will perish. Terrified, he cut affection from his life like a gangrenous limb. The truth emerges in a healing cottage outside York, where candlelight flickers against runes and regret. When the curse is revealed to be illusion, an elaborate demonic mockery, relief slams into Will like a train car. But freedom, he learns, can arrive too late. Tessa and Jem have already knit a shared heartbeat. Meanwhile, Charlotte Branwell, the Institute's head, faces a trial that could strip her command. Gideon and Gabriel Lightwood arrive, swords gleaming, motives shadowed. Parliamentary inquiry has never been so literal. Runes flare in the gallery as Clave members debate Charlotte's fitness. Politics here is both blade and theater. The proposal that turns every gear. Sacrifice is the gear that lets two conflicting loyalties grind without shattering. Jem, ever gentle, quietly burning, asks Tessa to marry him in a music room where violin strings still quiver from his last practice. She says yes, her heart splitting neatly. half joy, half sorrow for what she owes Will. Jem's rune-inked hands tremble not from fear, but from the drug that keeps him alive even as it kills him. Will hears of the engagement and feels each gear inside him seize. Yet his first thought is not to pry the ring from Tessa's finger, but to step back, honoring the brotherhood stitched between him and Jem. That is the paradox of true love. Sometimes it manifests as deliberate absence. MortaI instruments, mortal choices. Innovation divorced from conscience is merely weaponized imagination. In the bowels of the Institute lies the Demon Pox Laboratory, a room reeking of sulfur where Gothic beakers hiss with unholy vapors. Here Henry Branwell toils to reverse-engineer Mortmain's clockwork energy source. Each test tube is a battlefield between alchemy and angelic law. Henry's optimism provides ballast against Will's self-loathing and Tessa's identity crisis, proof that invention can be an act of hope. A raid on the York Manor reveals Mortmain's new design, automatons powered not by gears alone but by imprisoned demon essences, the moral equivalent of weaponizing a soul. Charlotte's team barely escapes. Tessa's power saves them when she transforms into a blazing seraph, burning hotter than the brass giants can withstand. The Council's verdict. Deadlines like clock hands clarify purpose, even while shortening available time. Back in London, the Clave renders judgment on Charlotte's leadership. In a vaulted chamber beneath glass-filtered moonlight, runes flare as votes tally. Her stewardship is upheld, but on probation. The Institute remains in her care only if she captures Mortmain within 6 weeks. The deadline clicks in every Shadowhunter's mind like a winding key. That ultimatum sets every character's gears sprinting. Henry accelerates his research. Gabriel Lightwood offers grudging alliance. Tessa studies Mortmain's clockwork schematics until oiled fingerprints mark the margins. Love triangle, love gear. Real love rarely honors binary instructions. The novel's beating heart is not the automatons, it is the relationship among Tessa, Will, and Jem. Clare refuses the easy template of winner and loser. Instead, she writes love as plural. Tessa can adore Will's wildfire soul while cherishing Jem's silver-threaded calm. The two boys' Parabati bond underscores that love is not a finite resource. Its shape changes, but its volume need not diminish. The triangle becomes a gear with 3 teeth. Remove one and motion stops. The lesson resists Victorian social codes and sometimes modern sensibilities that insist affection must fit neat pigeonholes. Small confessions, monumental shifts. Sophie admits to Gideon Lightwood that she fears intimacy more than demons. Her scarred face a battlefield older than any automaton. His kiss on her temple restores a lost inch of self-worth. Jessamine, once desperate to escape Shadowhunter life, commits betrayal that costs her freedom. Yet even as chains clink, remorse begins turning her internal gears toward redemption. Henry and Charlotte finally voice that love and intellectual partnership are the same gear rotating inside their marriage, 2 cogs meshing until they spin as one. Each confession is a small click inside the plot's grand clock, yet enough clicks in sequence set whole towers ringing noon. Closing reflection. Picture a pocket watch, gears spinning unseen behind a face of polished glass. Clockwork Prince asks us to flip that watch open and examine the machinery, political, emotional, spiritual, that drives us. Which gears run smooth because we oil them with honesty, which scrape and spark because we hide fractures with polite silence. Mortmain believes the best army is one that cannot feel. Cassandra Clare counters, feeling is the only force that can outmaneuver clockwork inevitability. Love, messy, 3-pointed, occasionally contradictory, is the wildcard that jams tyranny's most intricate designs. Carry these truths into your own foglit streets. Listen for the hiss of invisible gears, a friend's laugh that masks despair, a family rule rusting into cruelty, a personal dream ticking toward neglect. Choose to oil what matters, replace what harms, dismantle what enslaves. And remember that a single honest confession can release more kinetic energy than 1,000 winding keys. 1-minute takeaway. Love and free will are the only forces unpredictable enough to rewrite destiny's blueprint. Choice outweighs clockwork. Destiny may provide rails, but the lever that switches tracks sits in human hands. Family can be forged, not just inherited. Blood may bind, but shared scars weld. Secrets corrode faster than iron. Better a painful truth than a polished lie. Power structures look eternal until one pin falls out. Mortmain exploits the clave's rigidity. Flexibility turns out to be the stronger alloy. Vulnerability is strength in disguise. Will's tears, Jem's illness, Tessa's uncertainty, each becomes a key the enemy cannot duplicate.